Greetings, humans. I'm Andre, and I'm George, and welcome back to the Windmill full of corpses. And today we've got another one that isn't a suggestion, but it's a band that, well, I couldn't not react to. These guys are probably my discovery of the year for 2020 with their second album, Kala. So this is prog djent. Say the band name, bro. Mobius. The band name is Mobius, and the song is Sharira, or if I was a redneck, Sharira. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this band, and I won't try to detail on everything they do musically before we get into this because I'd be talking for a long time. So this is a from home performance that they did of a song that we actually already know from the Kala album, and I think that's about it. Link to the original video will be in the description, and yeah, that's it. Let's go. Okay, I want to stop it there. We'll probably have 2 pauses in this because there are too many things happening that I have to comment on. Okay, so it makes sense to react to this because they've changed it so much. They had one of these from home playthroughs for another song, for Mukti, a while back. And it's the same thing. They've changed a lot of things. This one, I think they made it sound a lot more raw. It's got a little bit less of the punch and the metal. Everything sounded, I would say, a little bit more intimate and raw and okay, that. I don't remember the original version very well because I only heard it a few times when I listened to the album back when it came out, so that was over a year ago. But this sounds pretty metal to me, so I probably don't remember just how, I guess, punchy their mix was, but yeah, the djent is coming in pretty strong. Mm-hmm. But man, the vibes they get through, it's one of those bands that can fuse together a strong emotional package with a strong cognitive package very, very well, and that's something prog heads do love quite consistently. There were also some vocal lines in the intro that weren't on the studio version that also sounded kind of a bit jazzy, gave it this sort of dark, jazzy tone. I would say if this was the first time I'd hear the song, it would make me think of this band as a prog jazz entity. Jazzy is one of the last things I'd use to describe her vocal style, but I think I get what you're on about. Yeah. Okay, I do have more thoughts, but let's go. I'll probably pause one more time before we're done, but that should be it, and then we'll probably talk a lot, or at least me. That's the drop. What? Oh my god, that's so cool. That solo, the fretless guitar solo. Was that fretless? It didn't look fretless. It was fretless-ish if it wasn't full fretless. I think it's fretless. I think he's actually done a separate video just with that solo a while back, or like a playthrough of the song in which he was doing that version of the solo. That's not on the studio. The vocals are changed big time. Like, the vocals are almost a different song. But the instrumental up until that point was basically doing more or less the same thing as the studio, as far as my non-professional brain can tell. But that was so different and it was so cool, especially because it was in parallel with the most sort of fluid and instrumentalized vocal section, because you have fewer lyrics and more of the ahs and stuff moving on and that fused so well with the solo. I also want to say it's cool that the vocals are just one layer and kind of raw sounding, because the studio is like stacks on top of stacks of vocals. It's like a stack overflow of vocals. And it's part of what I love really, really much about her style and how they build atmosphere with layers and stuff. So this is, with the mix not being so roaring and the instruments and the bass also coming through more strongly with that sort of silky sound. I really love this bass sound. Oh yeah, and everything is bass sound is fabulous. Yeah, it's definitely taking away a bit of the metal and adding a bit more emotion and flower power, I would say. So, I gotta give a shout out to her t-shirt. Yeah, it's flower power. No, but did you see what it says? I can't remember. It's something with less judgment, more something. More kindness. Yeah. Okay, so I do have more thoughts, and I'll probably not get to all of them because this video would get monumentally long, but let's go till the end. What? Drop. Oh dear. Oh my, that was amazing. Okay. This part at the end, it was just the sort of looping vocals on the studio. The piano was all new, and then the sort of slightly operatic sounding thing that they added is also new. Okay, I want to get the gear talk out of the way first. Not that I have a lot, but they're both endorsed by Overload. Mm-hmm. Those guitars, they look kind of like Kissels. I would mistake them for Kissels. It's what Charlie from Aiken uses. Yeah. Because they have the headless thing and that sort of really thick, rigid body, but they're Overloads. actually, because they're endorsed and I know that. And the only other person I know that uses overloads is Ginger, Eugene from Ginger. Yeah. So that's a really cool thing. And the drum set is an electric one, and I think it's due to having to play at home. So I wonder how cool this would sound if they actually had an acoustic set going on. Okay, I mean, with an electric one, I think you can tweak what it sounds like. So I think they did it pretty well. The drum sound actually fit really well with the whole song because it's got a very organic, but at the same time a very techy sound. You know? Yes, this is what really grabbed me about this band, that they have those two components working so well hand in hand, a techie component and the highly emotional and raw sounding component, and arguably more here than on other songs. Wow. I'll probably have Owen Wilson on screen again. Okay, so bass reminds me a lot of Amos Williams from Tesseract, because you have these sort of laid back, elegant, sort of smooth sounding bass lines with really cool rhythmic intricacies that really come forward through the mix enough so that you can hear them. Yes, I need to give some love for particularly how the bass and drum go hand in hand when they kind of clear out and you get the bass and drums coming to the forefront, like when that middle part began, I would say it was slightly jazzy, and we just had the drums and bass, and then they started building layers over that with the guitar solo, with all the keyboard sounds. Like, oh my god, the keyboard sounds. This guy used so many effects, and it's not just for the sake of having many effects, because they all fit so well texture-wise with the vibe that they're trying to deliver. So yes. Oh dear. That's like, I would say, a combination of like cosmic themes and traditional influences from oriental areas of the world, like India, for example. Some of her vocal techniques are Indian, like, I think, Carnatic vocals, and lots of vocal techniques with names that I shouldn't try to pronounce. So she's definitely one of the most versatile singers I know, and one of my favorites in metal. Yeah, that's a lot. What else I was gonna say is about the keyboards. Since they're going for that combination, a lot of the keyboard sounds that he actually chooses to use bring out that like cosmic atmosphere, and that also works well with their themes. We got a little bit of Sanskrit lyrics towards the end. Yeah, over the drop. That's the only part that I really remembered when it came back to me. Like, man, and it's so amazing what she does with like her range and her vocal style, because I don't know how to express it. She brings forth so much like emotion and so many different emotions. Like the whole sound in Mobius, even if it's sometimes really powerful, I think it feels somehow like caring and nurturing, if that makes sense. It has that, I guess, meditational love for the world vibe. Yes, you know? Yeah, and you can see that on her face as well. Like, she's really expressive and she just has this joy when she sings. It's so infectious. Yeah, I like that about her. She's another one of those really badass goofballs. And it's like, it's cool because they have this sort of flower power vibe going on. But that's actually, I'd say, complemented with an undertone of like struggle in their music, because they talk about pretty transcendental and heavy topics, and about death and rebirth and all sorts of these spiritual stuff. And that's, yeah, but it's like it's not like a lot of bands, they talk about this stuff, they present them as heavy, but for them it's like they patch them up with wisdom. And yeah, like they get you through them. I don't know, for me, Mobius sound is like really peaceful. Yeah, it's like a friend. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I probably have more things to say, and dear Lord, like we can talk about this song for ages, but I think that'll do. I'm wiped. This was phenomenal. So yes, we have once again successfully spammed our viewers with stuff that they did not suggest, and with that out of the way, we're done. Yes. So let us know if you enjoyed this reaction of a video you did not request. If you did, we'd greatly appreciate the likes and shares, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on. Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon. Corpses out.